Hey everyone! Did you know that the RTX 4080 Super can actually outperform the original RTX 4090 in some ray trace titles when you tweak the settings just right? That's the kind of hidden headroom that makes this card worth talking about. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been running the GIGABYTE GeForce RTX 4080 Super Gaming OC16G for a few weeks now, and it's one of those cards that quietly disappears into the background while you're gaming, until you realize you're hitting 4K Ultra at 120 plus FPS without breaking a sweat. The 16 GB of GDDR6X memory is the first thing that stands out. If you're still on a 12 GB card, you'll notice the difference immediately when you load up a modern title like Starfield or Alan Wake 2 with all the textures cranked. I've got a 4K monitor, and even with DLSS set to quality mode, the card never seems to hit its thermal ceiling, which is a huge relief after dealing with some of the hotter 30 series cards. The WINDFORCE cooling system is doing most of the heavy lifting here. GIGABYTE stuck 3 fans on it, and they're all individually controllable, so under light loads you'll barely hear anything. I've got it in a mid-tower case with decent airflow, and the GPU stays around 68 degrees Celsius during long sessions of Cyberpunk 2077 with RT overdrive. The fans don't ramp up aggressively unless you're really pushing it, which is perfect if you're trying to keep noise levels down while you're streaming or recording. One feature I didn't expect to use much but ended up relying on is the dual BIOS switch. There's a silent mode and a performance mode, and you can toggle it without rebooting. I keep it on performance during gaming sessions, but when I'm doing productivity work like Blender renders or video editing, I flip it to silent. The difference in fan noise is noticeable, and the performance drop is minimal for tasks that aren't GPU bound anyway. The metal backplate isn't just for looks, it adds a surprising amount of rigidity to the card. I've had cards in the past that would sag slightly over time, especially with heavy heatsinks. GIGABYTE included an anti-sag bracket in the box, but even without it, the card feels solid. The backplate also helps with heat dissipation, so it's a nice bonus. Another small but thoughtful detail is the reinforced PCIe slot. If you've ever accidentally tugged a little too hard on a graphics card while installing or removing it, you'll appreciate the extra support. It's one of those things you don't think about until you need it. Now, let's talk about power draw. The RTX 4080 Super is still a power-hungry beast, but it's more efficient than the original 4080. I'm running it on a Corsair RM1000X power supply, and it's never been an issue. The card pulls around 350W under full load, which is within the limits of a high-quality PSU. If you're upgrading from an older card, just double-check that your power supply can handle the extra wattage. One thing to keep in mind is the size. This isn't a small card, it's 12.5 inches long and takes up 3 slots. Make sure your case has enough room and that your motherboard's PCIe slot isn't too close to other components. I had to rearrange my case fans slightly to accommodate it, but it was worth it for the extra cooling headroom. For the warranty, GIGABYTE offers 4 years, but you have to register the card online within 30 days of purchase. It's a simple process, and the extra year of coverage is definitely worth the few minutes it takes to fill out the form. So, who's this card for? If you're gaming at 4K or doing high-end content creation and want a card that can handle both without breaking a sweat, the RTX 4080 Super is a solid choice. It's not the absolute fastest card out there, but it's close, and the efficiency and cooling make it a pleasure to use. Pros-wise, the cooling is top-notch, the 16 GB of VRAM is future-proof, and the dual BIOS switch is a handy feature that I didn't know I needed until I tried it. The only real downsides are the power draw, it's still a beast, and the size, which might not fit in smaller cases. If you're rocking a compact build, you'll want to measure twice before pulling the trigger. All in all, if you're in the market for a high-end GPU and want something that balances performance, cooling, and features, the GIGABYTE GeForce RTX 4080 Super Gaming OC16G is a great pick. Check the link below if you want to see the current price and availability.